we need to occupy. We need to occupy.
Occupy something.
These KECOBO guys. Something needs to be
a building
occupied.
needs to be occupied.
Bro, because like we need to apply pressure. We need to apply pressure and realize these institutions aren't as powerful as they think they are without the people. Because we're the ones who are creating the music. We're the ones who are even giving them an opportunity to monetize what's been created in this country.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome one, welcome all to the 30% podcast. I am Sam, and I am here with I was going to call him the greatest of all time. He's the second greatest of all time. He's top two and not one. Top two and not one, Afam. Why have I started with shots? I'm here with Afam. Afam Ifuna. We're the co-hosts of this thing. This is the 30% podcast. On here, we talk about the music industry. We talk about the fun things and we talk about the serious things. Sometimes we talk about the fun things seriously and sometimes we talk about the serious things in a very fun way. You can listen to us on Spotify. We're on YouTube, both YouTube videos. It's not YouTube videos, but that's what I'm going to call it. YouTube video and then YouTube music. And we're also on the Apple Podcasts platform. And you can find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and LinkedIn at the 30% pod. On the streaming platforms, it's the 30% podcast. The number 30% podcast. And Afam is _Afamifuna on is your threads, I mean your X, is your X handle the same?
No, my
as
X is Afam395, but bro, let's not people
you
don't follow us.
You don't plug yourself. Wow. Okay. But anyways, once you get to our socials, once you get to the podcast page, you'll find our socials there. And that's that for that. Afam, what's up?
What's up, man? I'm good. How are you doing? How are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm doing all right. Had an interesting week to say the least. Well, majority of it was normal, but I ended up going out and doing things towards the weekend, so that was fun. I could get into that, or do you want to get into what you've been doing before we get into that? And then
because you definitely had them. Actually, guys, I will break the fourth wall yet again. The reason why I am starting is because my week has been significantly less interesting.
Hello.
So, one, I'm a bit distracted right now because there's big news this is the frustrating thing about this podcast. It comes out so late. So now, this is big news now, but like on Wednesday, it's going to be like, oh, okay. Like we don't care. But, the whole the whole Biden pulling out news is really big. But that's kind of what I'm distracted by at the moment. So
be present.
Right now, I'm just... this is me being present. This is happening in the current atmosphere. Like, it's huge. But anyway, me personally, I'm doing fine. This week has been a really creative week for me. I've been working on a lot of music. I had a bit of a realization that the levels of the music needs to be higher. So I made like a bunch of beats. I want to say like 14 beats I made, but then I scrapped like 60% of them because I just realized I need to like be way better. So that was just like, I don't know. Sometimes you just also have to be harsh because sometimes, you listen to your own stuff and you are attached to it.
Yeah.
But I realize, man, I need to get the best out of the best out of myself. So
That's growth. That's growth right there.
Huh?
I'm saying that's growth right
It
there.
is, man.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of an interview. Was it an interview? I don't know where I even saw this, but I think somebody was saying that when they work with Kanye West, I don't know who it was. I think I saw it on TikTok and I can't remember who was saying this, but they were working on an album with Kanye West and they worked on it for like a month. And then on one like studio session, Kanye is like, "All right, man, let's actually work on the real album." Like that was the
After these guys
practice
have used
album.
they've used all their creative juices in the
bro. But let me tell you,
man.
that's the thing with these people who are really like genius. It's like you can make some, like I'm sure the producer was like, fuck, like we've made amazing content in this month.
Yeah.
But
Kanye's
Kanye is
this
like,
is cool,
nah,
this is cute.
We can go harder.
This is a nice warm-up round.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. And that's what I'm trying to instill in myself. I'm like, I don't want to just settle.
They also can do that because they have the budget to do that. So we don't have the budget to ask that producer to keep
But I don't really need to budget. I don't really need to budget for my production. You know what I mean? So so I'm just trying to like implement similar things where it's just like, yo, I need to go harder. I've been listening to this artist. She's not new. I'm so late to her. She's called Amaria.
Hey, late to the party.
I love her so much. Yeah, bro, listen, Afam is late to the party, but yo,
hey, relax.
She is so fire, and I don't know why, but like I think she's my favorite artist, like at the moment. If you ask me, Amaria is everything. Amaria, if you're listening to this, I am your biggest fan. Yeah, that's how my week has been, Sam. How about yours?
Dang, it's been cool. Majority of the week was spent indoors. But I got to step outside. What should I start with? I was out for Sema Box. Sema Box is a podcast incubator. Is that what they call it? Podcast incubator.
Yes.
So they were having a program. They're having a little shindig. Launching an app called the Wazo app, WAZZO. And it's, from what I understand, it is a podcasting platform, but it's local. So I guess it's under Sema Box. So they had a little mix and mingle is what they call it, where just a bunch of different podcasters came together and competed for prizes and had a blast, drank cocktails, ate samosas, and just chilled, networked and all that. So I went there for that. I got there pretty late, so you know what I realized? I realized I need to learn how to have fun. That was my big realization this weekend is I need to learn how to have fun. Because I got there maybe an hour in. I could have gotten there earlier, but I decided I was going to use my time and stroll around, anyway. I got there maybe an hour in. I got there between 6 and 6:30. It started at 5. It was 5 to 9 p.m. So I get there and it was already going. Games, some people had already won prizes. Games had already been played and everything. And I got there when they were taking a break. They took breaks in between the games. And
Sam,
activities.
paint the picture for us. Where is there? Where were you guys at?
Oh, I couldn't tell you actually. It was somewhere in Westlands. Wait, let me see.
So did you just transport?
Baraza Media Lab.
Magically,
it's on the flyer saved me.
Magically transport there?
No. I'm really bad with directions and places. But no, it was at Baraza Media Lab in...
Yeah.
Google it if you find out. So yeah, it was cool. I got there and then my default mode when I get into like a social setting
gathering
is I go back into my Mad Hatter psychologist antisocial self, and I just sat down there with my arms crossed, just looking at what's going on and watching people interact with. That's really fun for me somehow. I know it's weird, but it's just really fun for me to watch how people interact with each other. So I did that. Then halfway through that, people are coming up to me like, "Are you having fun?" And I'm like, "I'm having a blast." But I'm pretty sure to them it looked like I was bored out of my mind. But no, it was cool. It was cool. Really fun, very interactive. Some friends of the podcast were there. Shout out to Hafari. Kiplagat was there.
Some friends of the podcast.
Yeah, Abigail Diana from the Ongeza Volume podcast. Probably planning to have her on the podcast soon too.
I saw. Sorry to interrupt you. I saw a picture of Sam, Hafari, and Abigail, and I was like, hey, look music industry podcast royalty right there.
Wow.
Carry on.
And you were busy playing with Dylan in your room, not being part of us. It's okay though.
Wow, look at you blowing up Dylan's spot. For those of you who don't know, Dylan is the name of my pet.
Big deal.
I have a pet cat called Dylan. I love him so much. Go ahead.
Wow, that was okay. Yeah, so that was cool. That was fun. It was a good event. Talked a little bit about podcasting. Talked about what Sema Box is planning on doing, and just
was Dana Seda present?
Yeah, he was there, but then he left halfway. The podcast app I think it was launched. He was there. I didn't even get to talk to him. I really wanted to chop it up with him, but then he had left before I got hold of him. I was too busy having fun. So yeah, the app has launched. It's a podcast platform. So there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of like local podcasts on it. It's pretty good. I'm hoping we can get on there also. But yeah, go check that out. Nice. That's Woza. Woza is Wazo. Sorry, not Woza. I'm really sorry about that. Wazo, Wazo. So check it out. It's pretty cool. You can get all your podcasts on there. Yeah. So that was what day was that? That was Friday. Saturday, I went to an Itara, and let me move along quickly. Saturday, I went to an Itara. Do you know what an Itara is? Have you ever been to one?
I believe I have, but yes, I do know what an Itara is.
Yeah, a couple of friends are getting married, so we went. The woman, the lady, the bride to be was going to introduce herself, or she was going to be introduced to the family. So that was interesting. The food was absolutely fantastic. It was very traditional. It was very, very. I didn't understand anything those guys were saying. It was in a foreign language, and I did not get anything. I was using context clues. Whenever they use an English word, that's when I jump back on the train. But that was really fun. Shout out to them. They'll be getting married in a few weeks. I'm on the lineup. I had to go get a suit. That was fun. So
hey, Sam in a suit. What's up?
Yeah,
that's fire.
It's pretty good. And then going home from that, I got into a situation I don't believe I've ever gotten into, and I don't want to jinx it, but I don't believe I've ever gotten into. I got into an accident, which was interesting.
You got into an accident?
Yeah, we T-boned another car. A car the car was in the wrong because we were at a T-junction and he was supposed to have stopped, but he decided he was going to.
You didn't even mention this. You've not mentioned this to me before. Like, how? I'm so. What? This is big news. Like, how am I learning about this on the podcast? Guys, I am learning about this in real time with you people. Like, Sam.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. I didn't think it was that important. But it was no one was injured. I bruised my knee like ever so slightly. But yeah, it was like people just need to follow the rules of the road. And I think he was a little bit intoxicated from what we had.
Guys,
do better.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like if Sam got married, I would find out on the podcast.
No,
like
man,
he would just not tell me, and I would find it found out on the podcast.
That's
guys.
Not true.
What?
That's not
That's
true.
Big.
We have
Bro,
the
if
pod
I got into an accident,
that would be
even
big
if it was
news.
a small accident, Sam, I'm telling you, like straight up, like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll do better. But yeah, it was.
No. Sorry that happened for real. Like. That sounds kind of traumatic.
Yeah, it really honestly. I guess it wasn't that well. It was bad for the other car because I saw the damage. Like the car turned from a straight car into like a C a little bit. But everyone was, because he tried to drive off and run away. But then we're in the. It was really funny because we're in the age of mandamanos. So everybody decided, listen, fam, you're not getting away with it. So everyone jumped down, or a couple of people jumped down and went to his car to go complain. And then cops showed up. It was ridiculous. But anyways, thank God everyone was safe. No one got injured. We all got to our destinations, hopefully, at the end of the night. But that was the week. And yep. Sorry for that long, drawn out intro.
That was not long. Bro, listen, we're all interested in both of our lives, like... well, I hope so. I hope the audience finds our lives interesting.
We are saying that. We don't know. And if they skipped past
maybe
that
they
intro.
skipped the past.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know we're doing... There's timestamps now, so they're like, fam, now we're not trying to hear what all these boys are talking about. Tell us about the
That's
industry.
hilarious.
Speaking of the industry, let's just get to it. Let's appease those who don't care about us.
You know what I'm going to do? If you're joining us right now because you skipped the intro,
oh man, yeah.
Music industry news. Okay, I'll just start with this case because it's something that we've been following for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, before that, just a small thing about like what's been happening politically. Obviously, the big news is Ruto like reappointing people into the cabinet. Like he appointed 11 people and reappointed quite a few people, and honestly, super disrespectful. Kind of things like we are dumb and we don't see what these guys are doing. But listen, guys, I know right now our content is shifting back towards music and music industry related stuff, but it doesn't mean that the fight for the country is not prevalent in the back of our minds, because Ruto must still go. I'm not even sure if that finance bill was actually rejected, but I don't know. Listen, things are very weird right now in our country, so we just need to like still be very, very keen and hawk-eyed at what they do, because I feel like they're still being the politicians we know them to be.
Yep.
Okay, into music industry news. Like I was saying, we've been following this situation for a while. Quite frankly, it's tiring, it's long, it's protracted, but
it's old news.
KAMP won an appeal to overturn KECOBOs' decision on being a sole CMO, and I don't really have much new to announce about this other than it looks like now it's kind of set in stone. They say that a copyright tribunal has subsequently directed KECOBO to reconsider and determine the applications for registration/renewal of licenses submitted by KAMP, PAVRISK, and MCSK within 21 days. This reconsideration is to be conducted based on the original submissions made by the respective parties. So, as we know, up till now, KECOBO decided to award PAVRISK, formerly known as PRISK, the sole right to be the CMO in our country. That was heavily contested because, one, it was highly corrupt in the way that they did it, because PAVRISK, or PRISK as it used to be called, is kind of, or has a reputation of being a little bit of an untrustworthy organization compared to both MCSK and KAMP. And so everybody was like, yo, why did you guys give it to one, the least credible of the three, and two, like, y'all just made the decision hurriedly and just tried to like sideline everyone else, like without what seemed like fair, like consultation and decision making. So looks like the wider the other CMOs are completely anti it, and it looks like KAMP have, KAMP and Angela Ndambuki have been really vocal and their voices being heard. Angela Ndambuki, I believe, has worked with IFPI in the past. And
we mentioned that.
I wasn't surprised to see IFPI also release a statement on this, which we reported on in a previous podcast. So, Sam, what do you think? How do you think this whole situation ends? Like, do you think... I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it will revert to it being how it's always been, which is PRISK, or rather PAVRISK, KAMP, and MCSK being the sole the collectors of our royalties in the country? Or do you think it'll be reviewed and then they'll be like, oh, you know what? We did what you guys asked. We reviewed it and we've decided we're still going with PAVRISK. What do you think is going to happen?
We don't know. I'm inclined to parallel what's happening what's happening with the government, where they're just going to dance around, then just settle back into their weird ways. When you talked about I don't know or we don't know if there's any consideration, like if KECOBO actually consults, if we have like artist representatives when they're making these decisions. Do we know
and
that?
even if we do, those artist representatives are just probably just
they're
instruments.
Yes, they're been played. Over the weekend at the app launch, this is one of the conversations I was having with a couple of people, and we're just talking about why on earth this dance keeps happening and what it takes to get rid of it. And the two things I guess that we sort of came up with, and it's not extensive, obviously, it's just where the conversation led to, is number one, artists really do need to learn what's going on. We say that a lot, education, but then we really need to learn what these different companies do differently from the other ones. What's their unique selling points, and what's their the places where they fail at the most. Because if we don't do that, all we're saying is just games been playing, and it's games being played between these guys.
Shout out to sorry to interrupt, but shout out to the likes of Anna Lokanga, who've been really using their platforms to educate.
Vocally talk about it. I can't predict what will happen, because honestly, the way it has come, it has. When we reported that, okay, after there was the vetting process that they were doing, and they picked one, we thought, all right, cool, that's what's going to happen. But then since then, they have overturned that twice or three times now. So there's no way to really predict what's going on with these people. Like, they're just until the artists actually get involved, we might not necessarily see stability in how the royalties are collected and just the administrative part of it. So that's just, I really do feel like artists really do, we need to do something about that. Like,
by the way, we really need a lot of education, because I know I saw on Twitter or X, like a lot of people were like, occupy MCSK, and I was like, I appreciate the sentiment, but I was like, MCSK isn't like because MCSK is the most publicized. Is the most publicized figure when it comes to royalty collection.
Yeah.
But people don't know about KECOBO. People don't know about PAVRISK. People don't know, like, these are the real problematic, like, organizations out here. Like, especially KECOBO. Because I don't know what the fuck KECOBO be doing, right?
the copyright body itself don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because I feel like KECOBO are the ones who give out the permits for the three to even collect the royalties in the first place.
Yep.
So that's where the problem really starts, and that's where we need to address this whole situation in the first place. So if we're occupying anything, we need to occupy KECOBO, man, and figure out what's happening with our money. Because, bro, there's a lot of money that's being made that people are not receiving, and it's actually egregious, and it's very immoral.
It's exactly what's
and unjust.
And unjust. It's exactly what's happening in this. KECOBO are the people who are they're the organization that's supposed to be holding this the MCSK and PAVRISK and KAMP accountable. Like, they're supposed to be holding.
Imagine that.
They're supposed to, and they're the ones who are the ones running around. It's just like the government. The government is the one supposed to be doing things. But then how are we telling you how to? Yikes. Anyway, so I don't know if it's going to stop. Honestly, there might be appeals thrown the other way, and then someone who has been left out for a couple of months decide, hey, I need to jump into this party now. I'm scared. I've been quiet a little bit. Let me start. It's ridiculous. The whole system needs to be figured out, and artists need to take control of their royalties. And I will add an extra point. This is my opinion. These views are my own. They don't represent Afam's views, but I feel like the older artists, the ones who've been around for a long time, who have seen life before KECOBO or rather before like proper royalty collection and after, and who have some sort of success, I really feel like I don't put it on them, but the Kenyan industry is so small. I feel like they should be almost at the if they care. That's the caveat. If they do care, that they should be at the forefront fighting. Now, we don't know who is fighting behind the scenes and everything, so we can't really say definitively. We've seen a couple of them talk about it openly. But yeah, there needs to be a proper movement led by the most experienced of us in the industry. If that sort of organization is put in place, unless KECOBO and all these other guys decide that they're just not going to pay attention to the people who they're collecting royalties for, then I mean, but otherwise, that I feel like we definitely need that, or else it's just going to keep continuing like that. I don't know if it's going to stop. It won't stop.
And there's, I just want to read actually, like, so we talked about this in a past podcast, and somebody actually commented on our Instagram very passionately. I won't read all of the comments, but Robbie Sauce Fun page says, bro, artists need to be paid quarterly publishing royalties and access data and analytics from where, when, and place the royalties are coming from. Use BMI, Sound Exchange, and MLC to collect them. And I mean, we've kind of expressed similar sentiments here, where it's just kind of like, because people are kind of fed up and have lost a lot of faith in our current royalty collective systems or royalty collection systems, that a lot of people outsource that.
Faith
and
has
would
been
rather
gone
use
for
these
a
other
while.
organizations, which, so I mean, listen, you should definitely look into, so BMI and ASCAP, those are the primary PROs that are available in America.
And ASCAP is actually free to sign up. So like that's a
as from COVID, they were free, but I remember they used to charge $50.
Okay. Oh yeah. But now
they used to charge $50 to join.
Publishers and writers, publishing and writing, and then writing. It's
exactly
free.
And it's usually for performance royalties. That's what they usually collect. There's Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange usually collect royalties for music played internationally, but usually when they say internationally, they mean internationally from the American perspective. So if you're in America and your music is played internationally, they are collecting those royalties. So, but I guess it still applies. So I guess you can collect royalties from everywhere apart from America, I think. But I'm not too clear on that. So if you use a combination of all those, and obviously MLC is the Mechanical Licensing Collective. Mechanical licenses are that's a whole thing in and of itself. It's kind of like when every time a stream is played, every time a song is played. Every time there's a stream generated, a mechanical license is attached to that, and there's actually money that's supposed to be paid to the artist for that. So, listen, there are actually many collectives, but I feel like it's very sad that we have to kind of, decide to have to outsource some of these services, because
unfortunately,
why can't we do it? Why can't our country be professional? I feel like it's not.
It's ridiculous
impossible.
Because the systems are set in place. Like, listen, we are not reinventing the wheel here. All you need to do is figure out what they did and just implement it for our market. But there's just an
but the systems are in place, and I feel like they collect a lot of revenue. It's just there's a lot of corruption going on.
Oh, that's where we are. That's what needs to stop.
So it's not even that they can't. It's not even that they can't collect this revenue. And I'm sure there's a lot of black box revenues that slip through the cracks, because I know our what's the word? I know our technology or our tech, like when it comes to collection of royalties, isn't like the West in per se.
Not as developed,
but I'm pretty sure that we still have the capability to collect lots of royalties, and I think we do. I think it just doesn't get paid out to the artists. So, I'm tired of talking about this stuff.
Fam,
can we just get paid? I'm tired. It's boring. Let's just get paid.
CMO newsed out at this point. And we have to keep covering it. I don't think we just stop covering it. I think we have to keep covering it because it's important. But in all honesty, it's tiring. It's ridiculous. Give. Hey, how about you give the artists what they have earned? How? But I know it's a very revolutionary.
It's so controversial.
Yeah, it's how would I possibly say? How could I possibly say that on a pay the people? Stop it. Stop. Anyway.
Yeah. So listen, I'm tired of this whole CMO situation. But listen, I was on TikTok and Sam, I don't know, for those of you who watch Game of Thrones, who watched Game of Thrones, there's a character called Varys, he's the bald guy, and he has a riddle. There's a quote he has where he poses a riddle to Tyrion. Tyrion is the dwarf in Game of Thrones, and he asks him, he tells him a story. He's like, there's a rich man, a priest, and a king, right? And they all command a sellsword. So a sellsword is just like basically just a guy who's trained in the arts of sword fighting, who is paid to do his job. Yeah. And they all command a sellsword to kill the other two. Who lives and who dies? I'm asking you, Sam, who lives and who dies?
Wait, all right. I didn't know. Sorry, could you read that again? I didn't know I'd have to answer a question at the end of this. Yeah.
Okay. There is a rich man.
Yeah, the rich man did it. The rich man is the one who did it.
So there's a rich man, a priest, and a king. And you're saying the rich man is the person who dies?
I don't know. When in doubt, blame the rich man. That's my philosophy.
Interesting. And you see why? Because even for me, that was my initial answer. Actually, and there really isn't any answer to this riddle, but that's also my answer. Because so basically the answer to the riddle is that power lies where men believe power lies.
Yeah.
But after Varys leaves, this happens. When he was gone, Chella gives us. Oh, so there's a character called Chella who in the scene after that, she gives a snort. And Shay wrinkled up her pretty face and says, "The rich man lives, doesn't he?" And it's a bit of a foreshadow because Shay eventually goes on to really betray Tyrion. The reason why I'm saying this is listen,
yes, I'm about to how are you tying this back into CMOs?
Listen, there's a method to my madness here. I think the power lies where people believe it to be. And I think one thing that these protests and everything has shown me is that, listen, the power is in the people. The power is with us. The power isn't on these institutions. It's not on these
not on the people who represent
who
us.
lead these organizations.
Yep.
It's with us, Sam. But we need to shift that belief. We needed things like this to shift that belief, because there's no one answer to that question. You see, because if the sellsword is a religious man, then his allegiance will be with the priest. If he's which is typical. If he's a man who believes in money and wealth, he's gonna go with the rich man because he's gonna be paid off. I think what we need to recognize is we need to stop being afraid to realize that the power needs to be with the people, the artists. We also need to see our worth. We have the power. You know what I mean? And I think
we do,
bro.
Our fists are raised up to the air now. Mine is at least.
We need to occupy. We need to occupy.
Occupy something.
This KECOBO, guys.
A building needs to be occupied.
Bro, because we need to apply pressure. We need to apply pressure and realize these institutions aren't as powerful as they think they are without the people. Because we're the ones who are creating the music. We're the ones who are even giving them an opportunity to monetize what's been created in this country. You know what I mean? So if we all went on a standstill and stopped making music, there's nothing that they're collecting. If we all decided to sign up for other collective organizations, they wouldn't have anything to collect. So I'm just saying, bruh, we need to realize that the power lies with the people. Anyway,
and it's very controversial, but the system is actually supposed to work. So
come on,
controversial, crazy things we're saying here.
What else was happening in the news cycle, Sam?
what else was happening? Do we get into a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't cover it again because of what was happening. But then something really monumental happened in the music industry and in the international music industry. So we talked about AI a couple of episodes. Actually, in our, like one of the first episodes we did, we talked about like the whole AI thing, and then we've been talking about it a bit since then, and just trying to detail what happens and what might happen if laws are made and if it gets more complicated, labels get involved and all that business. It's been play until now. Now it's past play. So what happened is, I don't know if you know Suno. There are two companies here, right? There's Suno and there's Udio. Udio, that's UDIO, they're both AI music creation apps. You know, like how you can there's a bunch of AI services being offered. So like generating video, generating pictures, and now there's generating audio. You know the BBL Drizzy, that vocal sample is actually a sample that was generated off Udio. And then Metro Boomin just put the beat over it. So these and the two main companies doing that are Suno and Udio. Now, Suno and Udio have been, from what I read, again, this is just my opinion, but it's been a little bit shady how they've been moving about it. And the record labels, the three major record labels, Warner, I'm going to get one wrong, obviously. There's Warner, there's Universal, and is it Sony?
Yeah.
There's so many subsidiaries, I'll get them confused. But yeah, so those three came together. Basically, the RIAA came together, and they're suing these two companies for copyright. It's like a very complicated form of copyright infringement. What they're claiming is these two companies. Now, the way AI works is AI is not like intelligence of its own.
It's taught.
Yes, it's learned. It's algorithms. It's exactly. So these companies are coming. The record labels, the big three, are coming and saying, "Hey, wait, hold up. All right, what are you using to train your models? Because you claim that this music is not, that this music is unique and everything. And actually that has been debunked because there's been, as part of their lawsuit, I can't bring it up, but if you're really interested, you can go look up the lawsuit itself. As part of the lawsuit, they've done like research, and a lot of the music that is generated from these AI companies end up being very similar to songs that already exist. Right. And that's maybe because it's still fairly new. I mean, one of these companies is like a year old. The other one is probably months old, right? So it's fairly new. They don't have a lot of experience in putting out music and maybe making it different. So they're still learning. But the accusation is these companies are using artists, like let's say Afam makes a song. They're going to take Afam's song and learn from that song in order to make money off their website, because you sign up for these companies and you pay like a subscription or something like that. So essentially that's what the copyright, it's breaking it down very simply is the record labels are suing Suno and Udio for using their music to model their AI software without compensating the artists. And it gets very complicated because then the AI companies, this is where they start getting shady, and they're like, oh, we don't need to do that. Oh, our companies our software is very independent and it's all that business. If you ask me, I think the AI people are in there like it. If there's a clear indication of we're using your music to model our software,
yes,
then you have to learn how to compensate for it. I mean, sorry, not learn how to you have to compensate or figure that out. Work with the labels to get that done. So essentially, that's it's. I mean, I've broken it down very simply, but it gets more complicated than that, and there's a lot of examples in there. So yeah, I
definitely. Oh,
sorry. Before I continue, before you continue, what the AI companies said. What Suno and I think it's actually Suno that said that they trained their models on just good music. That's what they wrote. They didn't say exactly what music it is.
Man.
Yeah, they changed it.
Kanye West should
exactly.
sue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his music was used as a model also. So
No, good music, like
Yeah,
the label.
and then
good.
the suit is the numbers that I saw is that for each infringement, the record labels are suing or they're planning to sue for like 150K for each infringement, and on the lawsuit they attach like more than 1,000 infringements. So this could potentially be really bad for the AI models. What do you think about this whole thing?
Oh no, I agree. I think it's unethical to just like train because I mean, like you said, AI is. I don't have much to add to be honest, because AI is trained. They use those large language model things. I don't really understand all that type of stuff, but essentially, how I understand it is you'll feed the AI system a bunch of songs. So like you might feed it like 1,000 like albums of rap music in the past few years. Like you feed them all of that stuff and they'll learn, like it'll listen to all of Drake's albums, and then it'll learn all the way the flow is, the lyrics, it'll learn the voice, like whatever intonation, all that stuff, so that now that's how it'll know how to like
so you put
like a rap,
write a rap like Drake would if he was writing for and then it'll
so that's how it'll know how to do that. And I think it's unethical because you can't do that without my permission. I don't want my own stuff to just be used to generate new things, because then it's very dangerous for the artists themselves, because then if everybody can do that and then like people can say make music like Ira Star, right? Then where is Ira Star in that equation? You know what I mean? Like all these companies would rather go that route and pay less than actually engage Ira Star and her team if they want to do like something. So I think it's really dangerous. The music industry though is also the music industry. I feel like they don't find it problematic as much as they just haven't been compensated for it. So it's not even a moral thing. For the music industry, they just really want to
the
be
money.
paid.
Yeah, they want the money.
And the annoying thing is the artists don't really have a say in that, because if Universal gets properly compensated in quotes for them using their catalog,
the artist is still not seeing. Your contract is your contract, big dog. Like
the artist will not have a say. And like now
you don't get a bonus. You don't get nothing.
Okay, we can't use the big artist, but like a smaller artist in like Ira Star, because technically she's Universal. Like she's not gonna have the say to be like, yo, why is my But
record
Universal
labels are
have
not
decided,
in the habit
listen,
of amending contracts to please the artist. That's not part of the job description.
And Universal will just be like, no, we're doing this for the good of all you artists. But Ira might be like, no, but I don't want my stuff to. But she doesn't have a say in that. So yes, the music industry as well is also very problematic. But I think let's tackle this first stage, which is like let's limit how much these people are using these databases
what do you
for
think,
their models.
What do you think of, because part of their argument was they are getting the music from publicly available place, which is they're probably just getting it off like Spotify and stuff like that to train their models. So they're saying that they don't feel like they have to pay for it when they're getting it from.
Sam, you create an advert, right? You create an advert and you find your music from a publicly available platform like YouTube with the music. So do that and see if you won't get a copyright strike
to death.
Yeah,
immediately.
That's such a stupid argument.
Yeah, but that's an actual argument in their lawsuit. Like it's a very interesting document.
Because the problem is they're also monetizing off of that.
Yeah.
They're monetizing off
and that's where the problem comes in. The moment
content that they've trained.
The moment you monetize it.
If you guys are doing it for fun, do it for fun then, right? But like, listen, it's like a producer saying, listen, this song was released by Sean Paul.
I heard it on the radio and I recorded it. I recorded it straight from the radio so I can use it. That's not how it works.
Like technically, because it was on a public platform.
But isn't it ridiculous that they will use that argument against the big three labels? Like, what do you think?
It's a stupid argument, really, and I don't think they have a chance of winning.
You got heated.
And they better not win.
Why are you so vexed?
They better not win.
Why are you so vexed?
because I am pro-human.
Oh, there we go.
Like this AI stuff is also becoming weird. So I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's my opinion on
That's
it.
cool. I mean, that's that. We're it's a I think 4-week old suit. So we're definitely going to be seeing how it unfolds, see what happens. Record labels are probably going to win.
We shall see what happens.
Yeah.
And Sam, I think listen, let's get into new music. Let's get into new music, man.
Did you
what were you listening to this week? My brother.
Week.
Why did I say that?
I don't know.
What's wrong
Please don't say that again. It didn't come out right. This week, first off, shout out to I just wanted. I guess it was part of the events that happened during the week. That at least I was hip to. Bien had his Alusa Wayu Topless Deluxe release party. So what was going on? People look like some people look like they were having fun. Other people look like they were just absolutely smashed. But yeah, so I guess we'll start with that. Alusa, why are you topless? He dropped the deluxe. I think if I'm not wrong, he gave us 4 new tracks. Wahala, which features Adekunle Gold and Shine TTW, and Dunia, which I really like, which features Prince Inda. It should be Inda. Of course, the Masheri remix is on there, and then Rakata, featuring
Masheri or Masheri.
There you go. Featuring Revani, Baby SON, and J Derobi. I think some of those are the producers, and then finally featuring the Sons of Sonics, who produced the track, if I'm not wrong, and then it features also Wretch 32, who is a British artist. So yeah, as I really enjoyed the deluxe. The songs that they added were very interesting, well produced. It's cool. I wonder whether those are new tracks or those are tracks that he had left off when he was working on the main project. But anyway, shout out to him. Deluxe is fire. I'd like to see more deluxes from Kenyan artists. Like I feel like it's such a Western concept. Here we just give you an album. And just take the album. Thanks.
Remember when LeBron was narrating in quotes 2 Chainz album, and they were presenting the fact that they wanted to make a deluxe as like a revolutionary idea that nobody had ever thought of. That was a funny moment in hip hop history.
Hilarious. But
anyway, sorry.
Shout out to him. Yeah, man, it's good. Go check that out. Support Bien. Victoria Kimani dropped a project called Mood for Life. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I've listened to a couple of songs. So that's out. If you're a Victoria Kimani fan, go check that out. Olo by Watenda Willie, produced by David Ucheng, aka So Fresh. So Fresh is on the beat. So that was fire. So Fresh has been working, man. It's good to see. What else came out? Feel free to jump in if I am stalling and I'm not being very compelling.
Naskia Fiti by Mandy. Sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I mean Naskia Fiti by Mandy. Yeah. Mandy has been releasing, man. Mandy's moving, bro. So shout out to her. There was Sabina Joy by Movers Warombo Saji Nation. Mm-hmm. They just used the "Hey Miss Fatty Fatty, you are murder." Me like the way you twist and turn. They use that beat. I'm so sorry, Sam. I'm sorry I had to put you through that.
It's not me I'm worried about. It's the people listening I'm worried about. They're the ones who are important here.
Nah, they love it when I sing. They love it when I sing. Don't you guys? This is where you guys say yes. Anyway, there was the Truth remix. That's the song by Iana. Yeah. The remix was done by
more
Antoine,
remixes, please. I beg
and Mariaki.
I love those.
Yeah, it was on a house K-Tranada vibe. Yeah. So shout out to them. Bouncy. They're very bouncy. Love the bass line. I want to give a shout out to Cheru. Cheru is an artist who we've been following because she's new. She's really just like bubbling up in the scene, and this is her first EP called Soul. So shout out to Cheru. Yeah. I know the feeling of releasing music properly for the first time. So that's pretty exciting.
Majority of it, if not all of it, was produced by Shalom. So shout out to him.
By Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, Shalom. By Shalom. What else did I listen to? Yeah, I listened to two more things and then I'll give you the baton. Summer Bunny by Zoe Kengocha. So shout out to Zoe. I'm gonna listen, guys. I'm industry. I already heard this song. Zoe sent it to me a while ago. Listen. I'm tapped in. I'm locked in. Anyway, yeah, I did listen to
I don't know. Congratulations.
Sam is looking at me with disgust.
I don't know what you want from us. Yeah, sure. I'm happy you did.
Anyway, yeah. Zoe had sent me this song and it was really fire. The drums.
No, I really enjoyed that one though.
The horns as well. It's very fella. So shout out to the guy who produced that. And lastly, TG Black released an EP. It's Not That Deep, which had a total of, I want to say, 6 songs, and 2 songs were new songs and 4 songs we'd had before.
Yeah.
So shout out to TG Black as well and the whole team at Little Worries. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I'll just run through a couple of them. Octopizzo released a song called Mtume. I enjoyed this one because of the sampling. And I've probably said that enough times now, but I really like when we sample our own. And he just sampled one of the Zilizapendo joints. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's one of the popular ones, but it was really cool. The track was a little bit
Sengula way. Mini sengula wetu sisi sote twakupenda. You know, in high school I had to sing that as a Zilizopendwa during the what did we see? We used to have a night where we sing Zilizopendwas.
Is it like it was a culture night or whatever it was, and then there's dances.
It was something like that,
and then drama,
we were just there. Sengula we, mini sengula.
Were you in the choir? Were you in the choir?
No, I wasn't in the choir.
So where were you
every
singing?
House had to sing.
Oh.
Every house had to sing, so that was our song.
And of course,
sorry, you said
of course you were leading.
Brought nostalgia.
Of course, you were leading it with your
never.
pristine...
What, me leading? No, man was at the back. I was at the back.
At the back, sorry, man. Hey,
I'm not a singer. Sorry, yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine though.
To do that.
Yeah. So that was fine. I enjoyed that. That was. I mean, I don't know. I'm a sucker for samples, so. Colossal Music, Umoja Sounds, Frederick Muller, Provoke their... These guys release music every week.
Provocative.
Yeah, very, very, very. Congratulations, Afam. Jeez, it's the project is called the project is called Unexpected Glitch. It's a 5-song project. Heavy samples, hip hop music, raps, Swahili raps. If you like that, that's your thing. Go check that out. A couple more. Idaziz released like 4 tracks. The boy is working, man. Shout out to him. It's like 4 different tracks with his name on it.
Idaziz and Sufyan Zao, they don't sleep.
These guys don't sleep at all. They're putting out music. So that's really cool. I mean, it's pushing the Kenyan scene. So Gaduru Gitema released a song called Tesoro. I liked his most recent release, Kweli. It's been I've been seeing it everywhere actually. He's put it a lot on social media.
I also really love the artwork for that.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's really cool when you see people pay attention to album art. Like it makes me happy. I don't know why. I just like to see it. I love to see it.
Oh, so guys, listen. In the future, just know whenever you're picking artwork, just know Sam is paying attention, and you will make him very happy.
Very, very,
very happy.
Very happy.
If you pay attention to the artwork.
I have whole playlists of just album art. It's not even the songs I like. It's just the album art on my Spotify.
Ooh, that's a nice concept.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm stealing that. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to make a playlist of similar artworks that evoke the same... Oh, I
Stuff
love
that
it.
You enjoy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I've never thought of doing that. Shout out to you, Sam.
Shout out to me. Shout out to me. It's hilarious. I don't know why. Yeah, so for this week, I think this week we're going to highlight a song from a...
Yes, sir.
I don't know how long he's been around, but then we covered him last year on the podcast. We are into double years now, so we can actually say last year. We covered him last year on the podcast. He's called Petrooz, and he's a producer / artist, and he's dropped 2 projects: Love Under Construction, and I think Love Under Construction 2, if I'm not wrong. And this week he released a song called Ningerudi Mapema, which is a very, very acoustic. The guitars, it is. I enjoy that kind of music, so naturally sometimes I gravitate towards it. If you give me guitars without drums, fam, and some good crooning on there, ooh-wee.
Oh, some falsetto maybe. A little bit of falsetto. Oh, I'm set.
Yeah.
I put the set in falsetto, bro. Listen.
Do you?
I don't know.
Oh, yikes.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So yeah, Petrooz, Ningerudi, Mapema. It's a very nice song. It's a little bit on the sad side. So if you're looking for turn up music, there's plenty for you on this.
Sad.
Yeah, there's plenty of new turn up music. Or if you're looking for something hype, but if you're looking to get into your feels, Ningerudi, Mapema is exactly what you need. It is the dose of melancholy that you require, that you yearn for. Yeah, man. It's a really cool song. I think we should play it. I don't know if you have something to say before we do.
I just want to say I love the guitars. I love the strings as well. And I said this before, I love the falsetto. The message was so sad, but still, it evoked like emotion.
It did.
And shout out to Petrooz, bro. Shout out to Petrooz. That's all I have to say.
Shout out to Petrooz.
So
yes.
Let's bring it in. So guys, this is Ningerudi Mapema by Petrooz.
Habari zimenifikia, naambiwa umepata mwingine na mnapendana. Nguo na viatu zangu ulipeana, nyumba tulijenga pamoja umehama. Mi bado niko Uarabuni natafuta za mafuta ya gari tulipanga kununua. Mdosi akikasirika nataka kuniua, na pesa haijatosha ya kukuletea maua. Ningerudi mapema, nisingepata unapanga kuolewa. Ningerudi mapema, singepata unapanga kuolewa. Ningerudi mapema, ningerudi mapema. Sijaikosa kukutumia pesa za matumizi, tengeze nywele makucha ndiyo ukae fiti. Kumbe kuna mtu anakutoa baridi, nikipiga simu ushiki. Mi bado niko Uarabuni natafuta za mafuta ya gari tulipanga kununua. Mdosi akikasirika nataka kuniua, na pesa haijatosha ya kukuletea maua. Ningerudi mapema, nisingepata unapanga kuolewa. Ningerudi mapema, singepata unapanga kuolewa. Ningerudi mapema, ningerudi mapema.
That was Ningerudi Mapema by Petrooz. Shout out to you, Petrooz, man. Shout out
Put
to
in work
you
too.
because that was a fire song, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting? It's interesting to see where we're living in a time where the quote unquote old guard is phasing out, and so we're literally just watching the new staple artists for like the next couple of years, 10 years, 15 years. We're watching them like grow up, and that's just fun. Like I just realized that when I was looking through like the music that comes out, like it's just fun to watch.
Yeah,
it'd be cool, especially now with the podcast, since we are what do you call it? We are sort of not detailing, but what's the term? talking about this stuff as it comes out. Like we're journaling the music that comes out.
Journaling.
Later on, 10 years from now, we could look back and actually see some of these people who've talked about like where they are. And I don't know, it's I just find that cool. I find that really cool. But yeah, man, we could wrap it up.
Did you mention that this is episode 86?
I did not.
Can't even remember.
I always forget. to mention.
Oh my God.
Also,
Sam.
my bad. I'm really bad. I'm really bad. Listen, I'm getting better. Maybe after episode 100, I'll be like you on the intros. You're the goat of the intros. On your,
I'm really not. Okay.
Well, if it's just me and you are. Don't be humble when you don't need to be Afam. Take your flowers. On whatever platform you are on, let's Spotify, YouTube, whatever it is. It helps. It helps to rate. Like, we're trying to put this in front of as many people as possible. This always sounds like a begging, but it's really not. It's part of the social media game. Is
begging
exactly.
You.
No, if you really enjoy the content.
Sorry.
Yeah. What was that again? What? You need to work on that writing. So if you can, please just rate us. If you enjoy the content, and then like it, share it, talk about it. Word of mouth is the best way to market things, apparently, and then also through social media. So that will really help put this conversation in front of as many people as need to hear it. And yeah, we would appreciate that very much, and I think it would benefit the industry. As we talk about some of the things that need to be talked about.
Yes, sir, man. And that was episode 86 of the 30% podcast. Oh my goodness, we are speeding into the 90s, man. Listen, we're almost done with the 80s, man. Our crack years are almost done.
Our what?
Nothing. So, moving on swiftly. So, basically, I usually...
You don't have a crack year, my guy. That's you. Your crack years.
No, but the 80s. That's what the 80s are. That's what the 80s are known for. So we're speeding into the 90s, and we can't
years.
we can't even express how thankful we are to you guys for listening to us for this long. Really appreciate it. I mean, like, this has been crazy. Hey, here we are.
And watching it grow
conducting
too.
a podcast.
Fun stuff.
I know. For 1 year, 7 months, we've been doing this. So it's crazy. Like, bro, Sam, we've been recording this podcast since the first week of 2023. And we haven't stopped since. So that's crazy. Guys, on that note, I want to give you guys the 3 C's. One of them being consistency. Guys, you guys need to be really, really super consistent with your work. And a lot of people listening to this might be from the music industry. So if you're working on music, you're releasing music, make sure you're consistently doing so. Always be confident in said music. You need to be confident because that's what people eat up. People devour confidence, even almost more than the art itself.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you don't need to be talented, just be confident.
Sometimes you'll see certain artists who just exude confidence, and you're like, maybe their art isn't like that great, but their confidence really carries. So be confident, and always work on your craft. Every day, do something small that enhances your work. I was telling Sam, and I told you guys in a different podcast, I learned something so small the other day that helped my production so much. And learning never ends. Like, you always have an opportunity to elevate your music, elevate your craft. So focus on those 3 C's and you will be a successful individual. Sam?
Fact. Just a food for thought. Some little chewy bites.
I'm hungry.
For your brains.
I'm starving.
It's again, I usually talk about procrastination because it's one of the things that I'm trying to overcome the most. But I realize that procrastination sometimes is not just about the task, but I think there's a lot of things around it.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of fears that are attached to procrastination, and one of the major ones is fear of not living up to what the picture you have for you or the picture that people have for you. And so instead of doing that, you just decide not to do anything at all, and then use the not doing anything at all to validate those fears, which is circular logic. But yeah, it's important, like when you find yourself you have a task in front of you. If you're an artist and you really want to drop an album and the album is done, but you don't want to put it out, what is stopping you? Most of the times it's not necessarily like the administrative, mechanical, easy things. Sometimes it's like stuff that we're struggling with on the inside. So do some inventory. Get into your mellow mood, listen to some Petrooz, and contemplate on why on earth you do not want to do the things you're supposed to be doing, even though you know you can do them, because you can do them if you put your mind to it. And once you figure that out, fix it and keep it pushing. Procrastination is a thief of time. And unfortunately, we have not invented time machines yet. So, and even if we did, it's going to be for the rich people. On that note, we won't be able to afford. We won't be able to afford time machines. We've not thought about that. Also, I was just let's get it here first. But anyways, on that note,
yeah. On that note, thank you guys for listening to this episode 86, and we will catch you on episode 87.